Hey, Rafaela, thanks very much for joining. If you could start by introducing yourself, please.
16, 17 years now, especially in the test and QA automation. And I'm from Brazil, but I moved to London 10 years ago. And I have started my own company 2 years ago in 2023, which was more focused on Web3 education, but now it's a bit more in career development and building MVPs for startups.
So, could you tell us a bit more about the journey of the Chain Academy and how it all started and how you morphed into career
Yeah.
development?
Yeah, sure. So, it's always started quite a long time ago because I like to challenge myself and I like to learn a lot. And I reached that point in my career that I thought, okay, I'm doing like always the same thing, so I wanted to try something new. And my brother, he also has his own company. My father, he kind of yeah, in the end of his career, he was a developer, and my mom as well, couple developer, but he kind of started his own company and was building like softwares for other companies, other startups as well, and big companies, actually corporations. um and then yeah, I just thought, okay, maybe I should try this journey as well, that is quite different. I knew that was not gonna be easy, so but I didn't know where to start. And then I went to Draper University, which is like an accelerator. It's more focused on like founders mindset, because I didn't know if I had that as well. And I stayed in California, San Francisco for 1 month and a half. It was really intensive. And yeah, to be honest, I realized that there was nothing that I wouldn't went through already in my life, because it's like loads of ups and downs. But yeah, that time the idea was quite similar, still same industry, and I still have the focus of education and upskilling people. And was more again for the area that already I am in, so like tech and developers and Web3. But then I went to incubator in 2023, yes. And then sorry, I have bad memory sometimes, and especially if like time wise, it goes so fast sometimes.
Yeah,
And yeah, in 2003 I went to this incubator, and then it was 3 months, and then it was actually more startup focused. And then even though I was like still working a bit after Draper University on the idea, I was still a bit lost about what to actually do in terms of business wise. And then when I went to the incubator is when I actually like start something, and think about the MVP and more on solving the actual problem. And yeah, that's when I started. So yeah, entrepreneurship was not something that was my first goal and my first idea, especially because I had my father, and I never liked the part of sales. And when you are an entrepreneur, you need to do this part a lot. And yeah, but it is so rewarding, because you can ask me anything literally that I might not be like an expert, but I know the basis, which is amazing. Like you have like different kind of perspective on so many different areas that I never thought I was gonna work with. So yeah.
yeah, definitely. I think that's a great part of being an entrepreneur is that you get to learn about all different topics and you become more of a generalist. You said about sales. I think that's a killer for most people, even myself, like starting a company, never having done sales before. Like,
Yeah.
how have you found it? How have you improved, etc.?
I try to learn things a lot when I see that I suck at it. But the problem is like there are so many things that I suck at and that I need to like, okay, I need to focus on something and try to learn, the basis. So I watch a podcast here, or I read a book there, and I try to combine all of these. Sometimes, I was reading, for example, a book about communication that is more like in the human behavior and psychology of how to express yourself and be even more like a diplomat. And yeah, I kind of use this in different areas, including sales. So it's good when you learn something that you can, like negotiation as well was another thing that I was learning, just because I wanted to keep my rent down. So I kind of like mix all this knowledge that I got from different places, that maybe they are not sales related, but yeah, it kind of helped here and there. So but it is hard because there's so many things to learn, right? It's hard to see okay, what is gonna be the focus. So I always like try to set like short term and long term goals, and then I see what I can do for the short term ones and just like push it. And then yeah, the long term ones I know that it's gonna take a bit of time, so I do it like more more like in a disciplined way that is not that much, but I'm still like having some kind of progress, even that is slow. But yeah.
And do you find your goals change? Because for me, I'll set long-term goals, short-term goals, and then I'll have to pivot and priorities change. And I feel like I'm changing my goals quite a lot.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I do this. I yeah, I think now is more stable a bit, because I have. So this is something that I notice when I'm really confident about what I'm doing, then I can see that the focus is there and I can follow and it's fine. But for example, I was last year when I went to the incubator, the Chain Academy was focusing more on like courses, creating the courses for developers to learn Web3 and blockchain. Um, and we were like using AI to review the code. And then I realized, oh, that is just such a small thing, compared to all the other things that people have out there. And I started, doing a bit more like market research and asking loads of questions about, what's the problem and why, and how they learn as well. And all of these kind of changed the product a bit. So we are still in the education, but we are more focused on the career development of the person. So it's not only one. It still have, and also like in terms of being scalable, recording the courses would take like forever. Nowadays we can use AI, but it was not gonna be as personal as I wanted to be. So we pivot a bit, and now we are just assessing the skills of people. So we go through, GitHub, LinkedIn CV, and then we can also check the commitment of the person to learn new things. So we take like all these kind of small things and that they put out there on their portfolio, and we can vet and assess not only the technical skills but also a bit of the soft skills, and then we build like the roadmap for them, based on the skills gaps they have, and then they can learn from different sources, not only YouTube, but because everybody has different ways to learn, like videos or podcasts, and then we put all of the resources there. So meetups, open source projects as well, and then they can follow the path. It's like guiding them, but then yeah, it's still in the education. The focus was still there, but then we changed it a bit, because we just saw in terms of like short-term goals, this was gonna be more feasible, and we could see that was actually helping a lot more, in terms of the problem in yeah. And then the long-term goal that you asked for, uh, the long term, I didn't change yet. It's still there. So, but the short term, it kind of, I think is the one that changes from time to time, depending, of course, depending on your priorities as well, isn't it? Like how much free time you have, uh, and all of this. So.
And if you haven't got funding already, do you intend to, or do you intend to bootstrap the business?
So this is the thing, because when I was in the incubator, everybody was going for fundraising, and all the founders that I know, they go for fundraising straight away. And I am a big like there's somebody that said that before, and I'm exactly the same. I'm a big advocate of not doing what the majority does. And I was checking, you know what, I'm also technical. I can bootstrap, and might take a bit of time. So this is the difference, right? And then in terms of strategy, some people, they focus on fundraising, and then that's it. But then they don't have the product, they have nothing. And this is for me as well. I don't want to build something that I'm not confident that is people are not going to take it. So what is the point? So yeah, I just thought, no, I'm going to bootstrap, and I'm going to get like my network with like the developers that I know. They're going to help me, and then yeah, we are bootstrapping all the way. I changed my mind sometimes, thinking, yeah, maybe I should fundraise, and would be much faster, because then I would have like uh, a bigger team and would be like full time. But I watched this video from, gosh, I forgot his name, but is the creator of Webby something. He's was the first no code platform that was out there. He first went for fundraising as everybody else, and then he lost a bit of the company because you need to dilute yourself and give to the investors. And that was okay to reach at one point when he was able to say, as just sell already. So when he saw he could sell, he said, I don't need to fundraise anymore. What selling is much better than actually fundraising, because you are not like away the company. And yeah, you have users that they are paying for it, and they are also helping to grow the business because they want something that is going to work for them. So it's going to give you the feedback that you need. So he stopped fundraising, and then he exited in 5 years or something like that, and he sold the business for millions, billions, something. Yes, I don't remember exactly the number. And then I thought, okay, that's it. And yeah, basically this is the path that I'm taking. Of course, everybody has their own journey. I'm not sure if I'm doing like completely right, but I'm happy with how things are going. So, and also we had to change a bit of the strategy because we saw, okay, we need more funding, and we couldn't like sell the part of the product that is really unique. And yeah, that's why we start like building the MVPs for startups, because this is the funding that goes to the product. So sometimes you just need to add an extra like revenue stream that you can fund the part that is gonna actually grow bigger and scale. So yeah, not sure if I'm doing it right. But
Yeah, there's no right or wrong. You'll find out eventually. But
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. And also, I know that it's not only about money, funding raising. Sometimes some investors, they go just with the money, and they don't help with, advice and all, network and all these things. But you can also get this from like advisors and or mentors, and you don't need to like get like diluted. But yeah, I get it. Everything has pros and cons. Everything more life.
definitely. Yeah, that is no right answer. Bootstrapping can be great because you keep a lot of it, but then funding can be great because it's easier and faster. But
Yeah,
I never hear bad things about people who've bootstrapped and exit. They always seem happy, so it's definitely a good route to go. And you said about doing the opposite of what most people do, and that's really interesting because I think I believe that a lot, and I notice a lot of entrepreneurs and business people do. Yeah, along the lines, if you do the same as everyone else, you just get the same results. I'm just
Yeah.
wondering, like, yeah, what's your belief on that?
Yeah, totally. I was always like that since I don't know if it's part of my, yeah, it's part of my personality. So it's not something that I learned, um, or maybe yeah, something that I learned when I was a kid. And yeah, I just feel like everybody has is following the same path sometimes, and society pressures you to kind of like follow the same path, and they bully you if you don't. Like, oh my god, you're not doing that, you are doing. So yeah, I think we are individuals. We should like respect our own kind of journeys, and whatever we we need to follow, and if we need to learn something from it, that this one I should have gone with like everybody else, but at least you learn something from it. You are always progressing. But I rather I prefer to follow my guts and my intuition, and just go and learn by myself, instead of like just following blindly, and then later down the line I realized I did something wrong, and not because I wanted, but because everybody else was doing. That is gonna be the worst for me. So yeah, I cannot like sleep thinking that I done something for others, like following others, not for others. Yeah, I'm not that selfish, but yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. And I know you touched earlier on like you worked in QA and your father and your brother are entrepreneurs, but did you always have an inkling when you were younger, like you wanted to start your own thing or do your own thing, or like when did you start realizing that?
I never thought it, because I was really introvert. I'm still introvert, so I could see that my brother that also had his business, and actually my father was the biggest influence because I was raised with him, and my mom. And my mom was actually a salesperson as well. And I could see like my mom is super extrovert. She goes to the supermarket and she comes back with like 10 new friends. I'm completely opposite. I don't talk to anybody, and I rather if anybody comes and talks to me, I'm just like say yes or hi, or that is the basic thing. But I'm not gonna like crave to talk to people. But yeah, and then I remember that I saw and dealing with clients as well. I saw my dad doing that, and was quite challenging. And you need to know a lot about negotiation. Sometimes politics as well plays, and yeah, in politics is something that I hate in work environment anyway. But it's something that you definitely need to have the basis and know a bit. But yeah, I saw that and I thought, oh yeah, I don't like sales is not really for me. This was a big no. But then I kind of like did a bit when I was 14, because it was like learning about web development. And my mom, she was a teacher, so she was doing the sales for me basically. So I thought, okay, I don't need to do that. Maybe I can just like do, and when I was like there and talking with, because I was like building the websites for the schools that my mom was a teacher, and she was a teacher in tech after she retired from being a COBOL developer. And then yeah, I saw that she was doing this part, and when I was talking to the clients, they were just like normal people. And then I thought, okay, I just need to it's just like talking with a friend. So I thought, okay, it's not that hard. But even if it is, it took me like forever to actually make the move, and actually like adventure myself. I have no idea why. I think it just didn't. Yeah, it didn't come to my mind straight away, because I was happy with my career. But yeah, I just reached the point that I thought, oh, I could do more. I don't know if I could have done before, to be honest. Maybe I would feel like I'm too young for that. I don't know. But yeah, it happened when it should have happened. I don't know.
And right now, so you've learned the skill of sales, and what's your method for attracting new customers acquisition, and also marketing? How do you go about that?
Oh, marketing still sucks. Oh, suck at that. I have loads of help. Especially I do kind of a bit of content creation anyway. But then I don't have the time anymore. And the sales part is a lot of recommendation. I'm not gonna deny, and I'm so happy with that, because when you do a good job, and and this is I get from the clients, is like, Rafa, you really care, or they can say that I do care, because I'm like in both positions. I'm also a founder that also I'm not going for investor. I'm like bootstrapping, so I know how hard it is, and I'm also a developer, so I kind of like club them together, right? I connect them, and yeah, I there is something that in me that I do, and this is like part of my personality as well. It's like, if I promise that I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it. That's it. It's part of integrity, right? And I don't want to like, and also I one of the things that I fight for is like, being just fair with people. So I always try to find like a middle ground. I don't want to like screw people, and also I don't want anybody like to screw me. So I try to be as fair as possible. And yeah, I think recommendation is working really well for us right now. And we don't need to do too much marketing on that, because people, they keep like recommending to 3-4 founders at some time, and oh my gosh, okay, we need to create like all of these quotations, and yeah, crazy. But plus we give like loads of options. So sometimes when you go to these agencies, they say, okay, it's gonna cost like hundreds and everything, and we see that sometimes they are just in the discovery phase, and of course they are not gonna like spend much on that. So we try to find a middle ground, saying, okay, maybe you're gonna be a bit more slow, but then you're more certain about what you are gonna build, and you don't need to spend that much with development when you are not testing with the users yet. So yeah, we try to help each other, kind of.
Yeah, I guess that's the good thing about building something you're passionate and care about, is that selling it's a lot easier because you fully believe in it, right?
Yeah, and I don't even feel like selling. I just like,
Yeah,
it's just like helping, really. And especially because some people, they come to me and I have like this first conversation. I don't charge anything, and we talk about like loads of different things, not only on the development and the technical part, but I also like I say, oh, this is something that I can do. Other day I was talking with one founder that said, I'm planning to do like an event, but she was saying, oh, it's gonna be costly. I don't know if I'm gonna have like space to host. And then I'm saying, oh, maybe you can start talking with some companies that would be interested in sponsor. And I, even though it's not on the technical side, I help giving some like brainstorm ideas, and thinking about different solutions from, of course, my experience and what I have seen before. So yeah.
and who are your typical customers? Is it more employees and people, or is it companies that need their staff upskilling? Or
So this is the thing, because we are like we have two audiences, right? One are the developers that want to upskill themselves, and they want to become something like AI data engineer, and they are front-end engineer or something like that. This is one part. And this could be even somebody that is changing career and needs some guidance, because I know that you can learn from YouTube videos, but another thing is when you actually have like a roadmap to follow, and you have a guide, and also you can get like the assessment after with your portfolio, what you have learned and what you are actually showing outside, and what is being perceived. And the other side, the other audience that we have is, we have startups, but we also have like big corporations like Mercedes in Portugal. And sometimes it's just like a migration project, not only, MVPs. And we also always try to say, because, customer acquisition is quite expensive if you think about like, oh, I need to like, pay for ads or anything like that. We have recommendations, so we don't spend that much crazy money, but because we want to keep them, we always like make sure, look, let's build something long term. So, and even if they want to do something small and then they go outside tasks and then they come back later, it's fine, but we don't burn bridges. So yeah, basically this is our approach, like going for developers that want to upskill themselves or change career, and the startups, but also like another company that just wants to do a migration, or another like prototype, or another, they want to just like outsource a part of their development as well.
And moving on to Web3 and crypto, could you tell me more about? I see you won an award in Web3, and tell me more about that.
Yeah, actually, that award was the Tech Woman.
Yeah,
Is yeah.
that's the one.
I think yeah, it's not related to Web3 itself. Is because I am like helping the tech community, but
Right.
I'm involved in the Web3 community more because I start to learn about it. This is one of the things I wish I had proper like somebody that would give me like a better way to communicate in terms of like how to what is Web3 and what is blockchain, because after I actually learned from the right way, I thought, oh, okay, that's it, and then my mind went blowing, and that's it. But it's something that is still quite new, so it's always changing, and it's hard to keep up with all the blockchains and everything. There are some like people that are much better than me and a lot more expert. And I'm more like, okay, I like to learn, but of course I cannot learn everything, especially with so many blockchains outside at the moment. But yeah, I won the award because I like to help the community since forever. I have this blog. I start doing like public speaking, which is another thing that I had to learn and push myself, because as an introvert, I always had problems with presentations. And yeah, I just went to conference and started talking about it. And I noticed that nobody was talking about specifically on tasks on Web3. And there are some things that you need to know about the business, and how the logic works and how the blockchain works. And yeah, nobody was actually focused on that part that much. I know that it's quite new and is always changing. Like I have recorded these blockchain tasks for Test Automation University a couple of years ago, and all the tools that are there, they are deprecated. So basically, if you're like trying to learn, you might have the basis, but the tools, forget it. They are deprecated, so they are not using anymore. And yeah, I just created this Web3 community as well, Web3 test community. That I just try to put like people there to help each other. Even when I talk at conference, there are not too many people there because it's quite new. But yeah, I think it's like any new technology, right? You just like get to know a bit of the basis, and then from there, it's gonna have some kind of the tech is always evolving, so you just need to keep up to date. And when it's big, then you have the basis already. You don't need to like catch up that much. It's like AI. I'm actually like writing this post right now because I went to a meetup last week, and it was AI versus testers. And I learned AI in, I think first time machine learning was 2018, so 7 years ago, and nobody was talking about as well. Like it was just one person here, one person there, maybe even before actually, but it was still small. And now everybody, and now people are catching up because they are like, oh, okay, now this is everybody, and even like companies, they want to put AI in their software, but they don't even know how. But just because everybody's talking now, they feel like, okay, we need to like put it. And sometimes AI might maybe even make things slower if you don't know exactly what you want and how you don't play properly. But yeah, I always like try to learn the new things that are coming, and even if they are still small. As I said, I'm a big advocate to not do what the majority does. So when I see something like small, I go there, try to learn, because it's easier as well for the brain when you keep like the frequency to learn something, and then when actually the big thing comes, you are more aware, I would say. And yeah, that's it. Basically, I just like came to Web3, learned by myself in the beginning, and then have done a couple of projects as well. But I can see that it's still quite small compared to AI. And it was like cycles, right? And AI was like that as well. So like hype, then go down, then everybody was talking. Now that Trump was president, everybody's talking about AI again. Companies are like, oh, okay, let's invest in Bitcoin because it's gonna go up, and yeah, let's see what is gonna happen.
Yeah, that's very true, especially when you say about machine learning. Like I remember learning it in 2020 and no one knew it or no one spoke about it, and then all of a sudden now like everyone's doing machine learning and AI. So I wonder if when Web3 is going to become like that, maybe.
Exactly. So
Eventually.
that's why I keep like, let's put things out there, because another thing that I was like watching other day, I don't remember who said that, but you need to, once you have like a niche, maybe it's a niche right now, but it can explode. So if you're the only one talking, blah blah blah, you might be the black sheep and everything, but maybe in the future you're not gonna be like that. So yeah, but of course, there are things that come, and that's why I try to understand really and the potential of the thing, because some things, they come and they don't go any further because there's no potential there, and you don't. Yeah. But AI, when I saw, and I was like, oh, okay, that's it, and I was learning gradually. And Web3 the same, but if you understand the potential of the technology, or whatever the tool that is coming from our KPI, then if you invest from the beginning, it's much easier after, when it's big and everybody's talking about it, and everybody's confused as well because there are so many things and you don't know where to go. So yeah.
Yeah, it's always best to get in early. What excites you most about emerging technologies like Web3, crypto, blockchain, AI?
Is the possibility to change the way that things are, and the future is really like interesting, right? Some people, they get afraid of the how how it can become and what can become. Like I was in this meetup, for example, when some people, they were saying they were a bit, not everybody, thanks God, not everybody anymore, but especially in the beginning when ChatGPT came, everybody was like, oh, concerned and anxious about losing their job. But it's more about, I don't know, I always like to learn. So when I saw, oh, okay, I can use this to speed up my work somehow, that is how I see. I don't see like losing a job. I see like um a booster for my productivity. And yeah, I try to be productive all the time. Maybe I should like, yeah, I should check if I'm not a workaholic. But I was like, okay, that's it. I can like do things faster. That is amazing. Because I want to have free. That's crazy. I want to have free time for my hobbies, but at the moment I have none. Like I play drums, and I also try to learn piano, and yeah, I don't have like too much time right now. But yeah, that's why I keep like, oh my god, I'm gonna like speed up, like if I could, I would have like my house all automated basically, and doing all the boring jobs. And that's why I love test automation as well, because when I started my QA journey, I was doing like loads of manual tests, and some of them, of course, you still need the brain to do the things and think about the test case. But some things, they were just repetitive tasks, and that was so boring, and I hated like. And then when I learned about test automation, I just like jumped straight away, because I thought, I want something that is gonna like just do these repetitive tasks for me, and I can use my brain for something else, something that is more important. And yeah, that's how I see the future and emerging tasks is just like helping me to have more free time to do interesting things. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be amazing if we could automate housework and admin, business work, and be able to do the important things.
Oh gosh, yeah,
I
definitely,
think,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I think that's what's great about AI is like if you're someone like yourself who's going to use it to be productive, it's going to be a superpower. It's not going to replace you. Whereas if you're
Exactly.
somebody who just does maybe admin tasks, that's where it's more dangerous.
Yeah, and this is what we were also talking about in this meetup. Like, it's not, you shouldn't be afraid of AI replacing you. You should be afraid of people that know AI replacing you, basically.
Yeah, exactly,
It's true.
exactly. And I see AI is getting a lot of adoption now. When do you think, or when do you anticipate potentially that Web3
It's gonna come.
blockchain could get mass adoption?
So I have been so many discussions about that. And some people, they say that is about when government regulates. so people would feel more confident to actually use more and invest more on them. Also, with Trump winning the election and promising putting Bitcoin the central bank reserve and all this, this could push big. And also like these big influencers like Elon Musk that push the technology as well, and they have like so much invested already, so definitely they are going to push this to go up or far ahead. So I don't know exactly when it's going to happen, but I have a feeling that these coming years with Trump there, and if he does what he's promising with in this crypto space, I think then other countries are gonna follow, like USA is like the big one going, and everybody follows after. And so yeah.
Definitely, yeah. I think now El Salvador have done it as like a test case, and then the USA will establish Bitcoin as a strategic reserve. That could be the catalyst to make
Sure.
everyone adopt, and yeah, I could see that happening.
Yeah, same. And I was checking other day what was the countries that actually use crypto and Bitcoin more, but USA is there in the list, but it was not the first one. And actually was loads of like, I think it was African countries, because of the current. So once you understand, the deflation power and inflation and how much your money values right now and how much it's gonna value in the future, and then you just think okay, that's it. And then you don't want to put your money in like currencies anymore, like government that's taking care and printing more money. So
Yeah, inflation's crazy. I just went to the shop and like the weekly shop's 20% more than it was a year or two ago. So if you keep your money in cash or another currency, you're just burning it, right?
Yeah, so you're just burning. Yeah, exactly. And this is financial education that majority of people they don't have. And it's a shame because I didn't have as well. I wish I knew that before. When I was in Brazil, I had no idea where to put my money, and then I start to learn about stocks. But it's something that is definitely missing there, financial education, but not in terms of saving money, is where to put your money and where to not put your money as well.
Yeah, that's so true. I think a lot of people think of saving as very positive, but yeah, it can be negative if you save it into an account with 0% interest. And
Exactly. Yeah. My mom was one that she was always saying, oh, just putting the saving in the saving that was, in Brazilian reais, and that was like just burning. All my money was like going, and no, it's good because it's 3%, 2% interest. I don't even remember how much, but that was not accurate with the inflation and the market trends and all that. And I thought, oh, that is horrible. But this is something that is just like passing from generation to generation, and if you don't like break the cycle, that's it. You're just gonna repeat and repeat the same mistakes. And that's okay. I'm not saying that you're not gonna have a happy life with that, but it just prevents the potential of how high you can be, and financial freedom basically. But yeah.
yeah, you can still have a happy life, but you won't get the maximum out of your money. It'll be
No,
but
definitely not.
yeah. Ironically, people think saving is safe and investing is risky, but it can actually be the other way around. Like not investing is risky and savings, no, and investing is more safe. But yeah, and so obviously you've a lot about a lot of interesting things. Like you obviously got a good financial education and you're into emerging technologies and that sort of thing. How do you like to learn these things? Do you have a preferred method or?
I don't know. Depends on my mood. There was a phase of my life that I walk my dog every morning, and it's like 40 minutes walk. So there was a phase that was like listening a lot of podcasts, like, and I was like smashing all the time, and I was like, oh my god, that is interesting. And there was a phase that was like, these other podcasts as well, but YouTube videos, like the Diary of CEO, and some. It also depends on what I want to learn as well. Like sometimes I just like want to learn something about how to use all the dopamine of your brain, something like that. I don't remember exactly the titles, but it was like a bit of science on and food related to boost productivity, or increase your I don't know, power to have like a better memory, because I have like horrible problem. I don't know if I will have like dementia when I get old, probably. So I need to look into that at some point in my life. But yeah, I prefer like, I don't know. Yeah, it depends on my mood. I try to have all the kind of combinations, maybe not all the time and at the same time, but I do like to at least read books and blogs and articles, and then combine that with video and also audio if I don't have the time. But yeah, sometimes I just want to relax and I just want to listen some music. So um that's why I think it depends on my mood, and also like how your mind it is, if you're like actually ready to take some kind of extra content, and you want to keep your brain or if you want to like just relax. Yeah, which I should go back to podcasting in the morning because it was really good, but I just like keep switching off in the morning a bit to actually be productive during the day. Yeah. But yeah, books,
what's the
videos, and podcasts.
yeah, nice. And what's the best podcast or book or video you've consumed? Or do you have a favorite?
I don't think I have a favorite, but I have a couple, because it's hard to narrow your favorite, your favorites ones, or but it depends on who is talking, and even if it is, it still depends on how, because sometimes you know a lot, but some people, they are not really in the communication part. Sometimes you need to hear the right words to make the click. So I try to expose myself as much as possible to different like type of people, content, and communicators as well. So for example, I really like one guy. He's also from UK, Alan de Botton. He's really good, but he's more in the kind of communication style and psychology, and learning about self-awareness, and learning how to deal with people as well, which is something that I try to learn all the time, and which helps in all the areas of my life, basically, not only the personal but professional one as well. And one more, so Alan the Bottom, definitely, and he's funny, so I love to hear when he's talking, and he's really knowledgeable as well. Other things, I'm not gonna deny, I like the Diary of a CEO. Like, he brings really good people as well to listen. Sometimes it's just it's just like too long, 2 hours, and then I need to speed up, or I need to pause and then come back, and then I forgot. So that's why I try to expose myself to different type of content. So that time I can put like as a background noise, and I can pick up some things, but then I go and read a book on the same content, or I read like a blog. But yeah, my favorites are Alan the Bottom, the Diary of a CEO. There is that other guy, I forgot his name, Hook something. He's from USA, but he's more like on the scientific science part. He has like a beard. I forgot his name. And
Huberman or
yeah,
Andrew Huberman. Yeah.
this one. Funny, I said that I don't like to follow what others are doing, or mainstreams, but they are quite mainstreams. But that's why I just like have a look around. TED Talks as well, I like to listen to, because it's completely unknown people that go there, and they have like good perspectives. And even like meditation, I have actually meditation, I have a favorite one. Her name is Tamara Levy, and I never like meditation. I never thought that was for me, because it's just about breathing, and oh, this sucks, so boring. And then and then I found her, and then she actually makes me think. She, in the beginning, she also like focus on the breathing, and this is good to make your brain to be more self-aware and go back to the focus. But yeah, in the end, she always makes me think about different perspectives and different ways to deal with things. So yeah, I think in terms of like meditation, I have a favorite one. But maybe in terms of books, I like what is his name? Oh gosh, Zygmunt. He's a Polish something psychology as well. He
Sigmund Freud or no?
No, I like him as well, but a long time that I don't read anything about him. No, he's Baum, something like that. He wrote Liquid Times. This is one like reading right now, is living at a time of uncertainty. Of course, they're like, when you expose yourself to many different things, it's just because I like to challenge, different perspectives. So you need to make your your mind on, okay, what is actually your opinion, and see what makes sense for you. So there are some things that he says that I don't agree, and as like many people that I know, and many like other books or podcasts or videos that I have watched, but Zygmunt Brown, something like that. And also I like George Orwell. He's a classic, and there was a really good book. Well, I don't know the name of the author, but it's the chimp paradox.
Steve Peters.
Oh gosh, yeah, I think it's this one.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah, Steve Peters, the chimp paradox.
Yes.
About having the chimp in your mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I read another one that was a really good one recently, and it took me ages to finish, but it was really good, and it was how to win people and make friends, something like that.
Yes.
I want to read the other book that is about public speaking, because I definitely need, but I didn't have time. But yeah. Sorry, I talked too much.
No, you had some great recommendations. I could keep asking forever. But yeah, that's great. It was amazing to speak to you, hear all about the Chain Academy and yourself, and it was an absolute pleasure to have you on. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Alex.